This is Valley News Live at 10.
Watson Fire, we have reports of a tornado landing on 16th Avenue, North Watson.
Page out the fire department now, please. It's right down 16th Avenue, moving east. Page the fire department now.
Good evening, everyone. What you just heard and what you are seeing behind us is actually probably not a tornado, though it almost was.
It's a funnel cloud that sprung up this afternoon near Wahpeton. First Alert Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joins us with more details on that and a first look at the forecast, which includes 2 First Alert weather days. Hutch.
Thanks so much, you two. As we went through the afternoon, things were wild, but it's been a quiet and actually stunning setting sun here from the Dakota Magic Casino as we close out our day. Here's another look at that funnel cloud from a distance. Again, you cannot see if the funnel's making contact with the ground, but what an ominous sight in the Wahpeton area. No wonder the sirens were going off there. Kind of a surprise storm, and it certainly was small on the radar as far as its intensity goes. And this photo here shared by Carson from the Wahpeton area. It was viewed not far from Mantador and from the way station there off of I-29 to the east of the interstate and then north of town. Also, this looking right up the barrel. This guy spinning. You can actually watch its rotation here. Mike, thank you for uploading your video, and thanks to all of you for uploading those. And again, this one not in contact with the ground. Here, well, that condensation funnel reaches all the way to the top of the trees. We can't see behind it. I did hear from a couple people that said they witnessed it make contact briefly with the ground, but I have not seen pictures of that or debris coming off of the ground. Another Carson shot here. Thanks so much. Here's what it looked like on the radar. Pretty benign. Some storms exiting out of Lakes Country here, causing maybe a little bit of a flow that interacted with those storms, maybe making some extra low-level shear. Those showers are moving off into southern Minnesota. We're quiet now, not quiet as the heat and humidity build back into the region for the weekend. We'll have a volatile atmosphere. First Alert weather days for both days. I'll have updates on what you need to know coming up here in just a moment.
Sounds good. Thanks, Hutch.
North Dakota's trigger ban on abortion goes into effect in 3 weeks on July 28th, but the state's only abortion clinic is fighting that order now in a lawsuit. The Red River Women's Clinic is fundraising to move to Moorhead, where abortions will remain legal. They've raised about $940,000 at this point, but they plan to keep the clinic open in Fargo as long as they can, in hopes that someday the laws will change again.
I feel that at some point this country will turn itself back around. I think the ship is going to be slow to turn, but we also want to maintain our presence here and not say that we have willingly left North Dakota.
New for you tonight, the Red River Valley Fair starts tomorrow, but some people are wondering how they're going to get there.
And one Fargo man is speaking out after he says Matt-Bus's paratransit told him for the second year in a row they're not traveling to the fairgrounds. Valley News Team's Alex Larson has his story.
It's a bummer that it's not access to me anymore. I mean, it really might as well be on the moon.
Clay Killen says the Red River Valley Fair has been one of his favorite yearly traditions until last year. He says Matt-Bus's paratransit told him he would not be able to get a ride out there anymore. Matt-Bus confirmed to us it used to provide paratransit services to the fairgrounds before realizing it was located outside of West Fargo city limits.
But no notice either. You know, no notice, nothing. Just, you think you're going to go to the fair and you're just told, no, we don't do it no more.
And in Fargo, Killen says there is no alternative handicap accessible transportation unless you have your own vehicle. And an accessible one can be very spendy.
A large part of the population, a lot of people are missing out because of transportation.
Killen says he's grateful for the city's public service, but the Red River Valley Fair is the most glaring example for him of the issues with the system.
1 week a year, that's all I'm asking.
And he says the difficulty can lead people who would like to go to social events to isolate themselves.
Unfortunately, I do believe, can't prove it, but I do believe a lot of people just stay home.
He says he hopes the city will find a way to rethink its paratransit system.
It would just be nice to live in a city where even the taxis were somewhat accessible.
In Fargo, Alex Larson, Valley News Live.
MapBus's paratransit runs on a first-come, first-served basis, and for scheduling with 200 rides a day, he says that even a trip to a grocery store takes a week to plan out.
We have the full statement from MapBus on our website, valleynewslive.com. Just click on this story. Since gas prices rose to record levels this spring, Fargo police say they've taken a few reports of gas being siphoned out of vehicles. Automotive experts say newer vehicles have a handful of fail-safes to prevent gas thieves, like internal gas cap locks and tamper-resistant valves, but they encourage everyone to take a few preventative measures to stay safe.
You know, park your car in a garage. If you don't have a garage, park it in a well-lit area. You know, people don't like to steal things if they're able to be seen.
He adds, if you find your car's fuel system was tampered with, do not start your vehicle. Instead, call a tow truck.
New tonight, the city of Dilworth wants to hear from residents about plans to upgrade Highway 10.
Valley News Team's Aaron Walling shows us what the city is thinking so far.
For Apex Engineering, the opportunity to get ideas and feedback from the community is crucial as they prepare for upgrading Highway 10.
The more input we can get now on what alternatives might be will help to kind of speed that process along or make it maybe a little bit smoother.
Some of the ideas residents have submitted so far include making the highway more aesthetically appealing, improvements on how snow is removed, and the need for turn lanes, among other ideas.
My concern is slowing the traffic on the east end of Dilworth going west.
Severson says the speed dropping from 65 to 30 causes problems for some drivers.
People that are, trying to pull out at 7th Street where the speed limit is supposed to be 30, people aren't going 30, they're going way faster than that.
Severson also says he would like to see a street light out at 14th Street Northeast to help slow down the flow of traffic. According to Apex, these projects will start within 5 to 10 years. Reporting in Dilworth, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
For more information on the projects, visit valleynewslive.com and click on this story. Meanwhile, the Fargo School Board has now officially terminated former teacher Kevin Kennedy. They voted unanimously in a special meeting this morning. It was brief. This is the final step in a months-long investigation to misconduct and inappropriate behavior by Kennedy. With the move, Kennedy will not receive any pay or benefits after his suspension started, which was back in April. You can read the full investigative report on this case on our website, valleynewslive.com, or in the VNL News app.
Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has been sentenced to a little over 20 years in federal court for violating George Floyd's civil rights. He was already serving a 22.5-year sentence after being found guilty of murder. The sentence is part of a plea deal in which Chauvin admitted for the first time that he used excessive force when he knelt on Floyd's neck. The Floyd family attended the hearing. Chauvin didn't offer them an apology, instead saying he wishes all the best for Floyd's children.
I wish he would have just probably said that how sorry he was, but that's not going to bring my brother back.
As a federal prisoner, the now 46-year-old Chauvin will not be eligible to be released until he's in his 60s.
Minnesota State Patrol is significantly increasing its presence around the Twin Cities. Public safety officials say this comes in response to the recent rise in criminal activity. They'll add extra troopers monitoring traffic, as well as more state investigators to conduct homicide and gun crime investigations. Minnesota investigators also just received a ballistics van to aid in the processing of evidence. Computers can create images from bullets and shell casings to track the guns used in shootings. DPS says these efforts will likely last at least through the summer.
An Army veteran was surprised with a new car tonight in Moorhead. It was presented to him at Moorhead Cruise Night. He transitioned to civilian life in Fargo back in September 2020 and says it wasn't easy. Fix It Forward Ministries was proud to present him with that vehicle, which he didn't have before, relying on busing to get around.
Hard times during that transition of coming from service to civilian. The fact that they're offering cars to a lot of veterans and a lot of civilians, it's a really good thing that they're doing. A lot of folks, that transition is really tough. A lot of Americans don't know how tough it is for folks, and I'm thankful, and I'm sure the 1,000 other plus folks are going to help. They're going to be very thankful as well